This Quest 2 head strap was sent to me by YOGES. I've dropped a product page link in the description, so check that out. This design of head strap is a halo style. Now, not everyone gets on with halo style straps, and it can be hit and miss for me. So we're going to find out if this works for me very soon. But first, let's take it out of the box. Okay, some simple instructions, but surely not too difficult to work out. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so those are solidly angled pieces, they don't move, but the rest does. It's pretty tight actually. Yeah, so yeah, it's got some pivot points there. You can see that. Actually very strong pivot points, which is not a bad thing because it means when you lock it in place, it will stay in place, which is important. And we have this back piece here, that's padded, that's nice to see. And indeed, another thing that's nice to see, which we don't see with all these head straps, is a padded top strap. So the extra cushioning provides comfort, so that's all good. And because this is a halo strap, that rests on your forehead, and that is also sufficiently padded. So what we need to do is fit this to my headset. Some rubber pieces there, so that's for friction fitting the headset. So let's slide this on and just see how easy this goes on. Let me just refer to the instructions to see how far we need to push it on. It doesn't exactly show me that, but you can see that goes on there. But if I just push it on, about that far, just for the moment. I can always adjust it later on. And we need to twist this all around. This pops on, so the orientation for that should be like so. It just clips in. There's an adjustable dial there. I mean, that's sturdy, that's not going anywhere. So looking quite good so far. Let's find out how we get the strap on here. That goes over the top. So we'll need to take off my facial interface. And then we just do a little bit of acrobatics with that, so we can get a bit of room in there. Just slide that through. Or attempt to slide it through. Bending it a bit can help sometimes with these sort of things. Okay, there we go. And the head strap goes like that. Of course, put the visor back on, the facial interface. that is the finished product. It certainly's got a stiff feel to it, which is good for a halo style strap. With halo style straps, because everything is the weight and also the support is all bared by the top of your head, this is not being pulled into your face. That's one of the advantage of using a halo strap, is you don't feel the pressure on your face, so you may find that more comfortable. But yeah, it needs to fit around the top of your head, and obviously it squeezes the top of your head there. So what I need to do next is just make an adjustment to make it fit my head, give it some testing, and I could be back with the results. Okay, testing over and the verdict is in, and it's very much a mixed bag for me. Now, you can see I've added a battery to the back. That is my own battery straps, my own battery, and that helped a lot. Now, something I mentioned right at the beginning of the video is my problems I've experienced before with halo style straps. And I've realised what it is, and it's basically a head shape thing. Now, I have a slightly flat back of my head. If you have a round back of your head, a halo strap I think is going to be fine. And the reason is, for me, it's sort of like slips, because it's not being able to grip the back of my head since it isn't round enough, effectively. And because the halo strap is bearing all the weight for the visor. And if you can't get that sort of like friction, that grip around your head, then it will basically drop forward like it does for me. So when I put it on, it basically does this slow, like the kind of traveling motion downwards and starts slipping like that. And I can't do anything about it. Now, adding a battery to the back made a big difference, and for this type of head strap, I would normally add a battery anyway if I can, and I can, so I thought I'd just show you as well. And that adds some ballast. It kind of prevents it moving too much, but as you can see, it's not a perfect balance. It still kind of wanted to drop down a little bit, but it helps a lot. For me, it helps a lot. Now, if I take the battery off, so just show you again, that's before. Now let's try after. Take the battery out and have a look at this. You can see how far it just drops forward because it is front heavy. It's not able to basically hold the back of my head, so it's always going to be in this kind of motion for me, and I can't use it. Basically, it's absolutely useless for me without adding some weight to the back. And as I said, I always add a battery anyway because I want to extend my playtime with a head strap of my headset, and therefore this is not a big deal for me to add to this particular head strap either, since I would have done it anyway, and it's always a good thing. So. But I think the takeaway is, guys, is if you have a particular head shape, then I think halo head straps are going to be very difficult for you to use. You may like the idea of them because you might like the comfort of them to hold it up and not have any pressure on the visor, because it does do that. When I have it on my head, it does feel comfortable enough until it starts slipping, and then I know it's sort of going out of alignment, and it never felt stable for me. With the battery, it made a big difference, although it didn't fix it entirely, since again it wasn't gripping the sort of like the bottom around of my head, because it's just simply not enough for the actual headband at the back piece here to kind of grab on. And the only way to kind of make it work is to keep on cranking it and making it tighter, which is no good because obviously it needs to be a natural fit, and for me it just doesn't work. Now, the build quality of this head strap I think is actually good, and all the padding is nice and comfortable, and if you have the right head shape, you're going to be absolutely fine with this, and you may really like this head strap because it is rigid, well made. I've got no complaints about what it's meant to do, but it's meant to do it with a particular head shape, so do note that. The other thing I'll say is this top head strap didn't connect to any of my head whatsoever. It's just basically a gap. I could feel maybe a tiny bit of it, but it wasn't actually providing any support. It wasn't doing anything for me personally. To be fair, I don't think it would have made a difference if it did. Now, I would suggest you look at the Amazon reviews and just go through those and see what people say, because you could see it could be a mixed bag as well, where people are saying, oh, it's great, or they might have trouble with it. I've looked at some of the reviews and they seem to be generally positive, but again, you have to kind of take this thing with a broader spectrum in mind and look at a lot of reviews. Look at the ones where people are struggling with the head strap, not necessarily the people that are just having a good time with it. So yeah, I'd say it's going to be very dependent on individual head shape, basically, whether or not this is going to work for you. And if it does, I think it's going to be a good head strap. If it doesn't, it's going to be a terrible head strap. That's basically how it's going to end up for you guys. And if you do have a flat back of your head, I would suggest looking at the more traditional type of elite strap, where the band goes all the way around like that, and it's a rigid strap there, and you've got a top strap over the top. I've never had a problem with any of those style of straps, and I would dare say no one else has, regardless of your head shape, would have a problem with those anyway. So that's the type of head strap I will have to go back to. That's fair enough, they work for me, and I'm perfectly comfortable with those. So that's kind of my preference. But there you go, guys, that's my review for this head strap. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye for now.